Hi, in this video we are going to learn what is Ethereum. Now I want to be very specific, this video is not for the cryptocurrency Ethereum, this video is for the Ethereum blockchain. So if you are into cryptocurrency, this is not the right video for you. Now if you are staying along, we are going to understand in detail how Ethereum works, what are the various use cases you can actually use with this particular technology, and finally understanding what kind of an impact it has actually created around this blockchain era, if I may. We all know that Ethereum is the second largest blockchain around the globe, and it has impacted a lot of innovation. A lot of things are happening around it, and the best part with Ethereum is that it has a developer community which is actually making this blockchain quite extensive, quite reliable, and a lot of people and a lot of companies, if I may, are actually using it. So if you are a developer who want to actually get into blockchain industry, if I may, if you want to become a Web 3.0 developer, this is a very good blockchain to get started with. If you are a company, if you are an executive, if you are a founder, and if you are thinking that okay, Ethereum is certain thing which I can actually get started, I can create a project around it, in that case this is the right video for you. Now I just want to be very specific. If you don't know what is blockchain, I would say that first of all you should watch what is blockchain, because obviously this video will have a lot of terminology around that. Now first of all, if we talk about what specifically is Ethereum, Ethereum is a decentralized blockchain which we all understand. What is decentralized? Decentralized simply means that no one or no single authority has a control over that specific piece of project, if I may. I'll give a very simple example. Let's say we talk about Instagram. Whatever goes in the platform has to follow the guidelines of Instagram. How Instagram is giving specific people access is designed, or I should say sort of has to be followed by Instagram. Now they are very open about their policies, but ultimately things are controlled by Meta. This is something which a lot of people don't find it useful, or I should say a lot of people don't find it appealing for them. So that is why blockchain came in, and this is where Ethereum steps in. It is one of the decentralized blockchain with a peer-to-peer network. That means if I'm doing something inside this blockchain, I'm not limited to, or I should say I should not report to a certain authority who is actually controlling it. I'm basically part of this big community. Like let's say these are the people who are working, or I should say they are sort of part of this Ethereum project. So what is happening? You can see they all are part of it. They all are part of it, and everyone is contributing towards it. The next point which we have to discuss regarding this particular blockchain is that it is supported by smart contracts that helps us create trust without central authority. What does that mean? What is smart contract? A smart contract, if I have to say in very, very simple language, is an algorithm. I would say it is a contract, an agreement on basis of which two parties decide to do something. They decide to transact. I'll give a very simple example. Let's say I say, okay, for $100, I'll give you this kind of a service. I'll give a very simple example. For $100, I'll give you a blockchain consultation. You come to me, you give me $100, and I did not give the consultation. I sort of fled away, or I blocked you. So I'm breaching that contract. But the problem is now you have to go to court for that $100. With smart contract, you can actually define these kind of contracts. So if both the parties are not working together, you can actually, it can actually create sort of a trustworthy factor for us. So this is where smart contracts comes in. Whatever goes inside the blockchain has to follow whatever is written in the smart contract. Based on that only you can become a part of that particular network, especially if we talk about Ethereum. The next thing we have to understand, and this is very sort of a pro thing regarding this industry of blockchain, is participants get full ownership and visibility due to decentralized network. Now you have to understand this is a technology which is open, which is transparent, and every person, or I should say not a single person, or I should say single person does not have the authority around it. So everyone gets the full ownership. Secondly, they can actually view what is happening in this particular network. Let's say you have a blockchain network of, or I should say Ethereum network of NFTs. I'll take an example. So you can see who is purchasing that NFT, who is the owner of that NFT, and who this NFT was sold to. It is not specifically that, okay, I'll buy this NFT and I'll keep it secret. No, it is part of this particular blockchain, and it will be open, and everyone will have the authority, or I should say ownership, to view what is happening within this particular network. The final point which we have to discuss regarding what is Ethereum is that Ethereum actually is not free. When you want to do some transactions in this particular blockchain, you have to spend something which is known as Ether. What is Ether? Ether is a cryptocurrency if I talk about, and consider this as a sort of a service charge. So if you want to use something, if you want to upload some data, if you want to view something from the particular Ethereum blockchain, what you will do, you will actually pay some fees in the name of Ether. Based on that fees, sometimes it is also called gas. Actually it is called gas. So you have to pay the gas value, which is basically service fee to actually put your data in the Ethereum blockchain. Now, if you're planning to become a developer or if you're planning to make projects in the Ethereum blockchain, we have to understand how this blockchain differentiates. Well, first of all, if we talk about this Ethereum blockchain, it is a public blockchain. In the last slide, we discussed this specific point. So you have to understand that since this is a public blockchain, that means everyone has the access in this particular blockchain. You don't need any special permission to actually participate in this specific blockchain. Secondly, it is permissionless. Now, since nobody is controlling or nobody has a centralized authority towards this specific blockchain, if I may, or Ethereum blockchain, you don't need any permission from anyone to actually get into that blockchain and do stuff around it. Then it is obviously decentralized, which we have already discussed. Finally, it works on proof of work consensus mechanism. What does that mean? It simply means that if someone is doing something, you have to show the proof of work. You cannot simply say, okay, I have done this, give me the amount. You have to show that you have done your work, and this is something which is known as proof of work. Now, if you're planning to make a project on blockchain, or I should say Ethereum blockchain, or if you're thinking of becoming a blockchain developer, or I should say Ethereum blockchain developer, Solidity and Viper are the languages with which you are going to write the smart contracts in this specific Ethereum blockchain. Now, I would suggest personally, if you have to go, Solidity is a much better language to start with because it has a lot of advantages, a lot of community support around it. So this gives you an edge over this specific language, which is Viper. But I would not comment right now what is the best language. But personally, if I have to suggest, I would say Solidity is the right language for you to go. Now, one of the most important thing which is specifically asked for this Ethereum blockchain is, can I have private transactions in this blockchain? The answer is no. Why? Because it is a public blockchain, it is permissionless. That means there cannot be any private transactions which are sort of possible in this specific blockchain. Now, I want to understand, obviously, when we talk about blockchain, a lot of people think that, okay, blockchains are always public. Well, that is not the case. There are certain scenarios where blockchain can be private. They can be permission one, where you have to take the permission, and they can also be centralized. But that is ultimately being controlled by a single entity rather than being available peer-to-peer to everyone. And finally, if we talk about Ethereum blockchain, it is actually good for having NFT. Again, here we have written NET, which is basically sort of autocorrect which has happened, and DeFi application. So like, let's say if you're building NFT applications, or I should say if you're building DeFi applications, well, this is a very good blockchain with which you can actually start your project. So I hope you understood what is Ethereum, but obviously since a lot of things are happening in this industry, I would say please comment down and let me know what are your specific questions around this industry so I can actually assist you.